Welcome to NeedleXChange, the stories behind the stitches. My name's Jamie Chalmers, and in this episode I'm interviewing Renan Estivan, a São Paulo-based contemporary embroidery and textile artist known for queer tapestries that put the male body at their centre. Renan is currently on a month-long residency at Cabane Georgina in Marseille, where he's just opened his first solo show, L'Homme Renommé, something that we discuss in this episode. We also get into the nature of his work, how the body at rest has become a quietly political act, what slow work has taught him about his own queerness, how to navigate Instagram censorship with textiles, the masculinity as a construction concept that is behind his Marseille show, and obviously we do his cultural touchpoints, which include a wonderful confession, a fact that not many people know about him that just makes him even more lovable than he already is. If you want another great interview with another great queer artist, then you must check out NeedleXChange's 11 and 12 with the magnificent John Thomas Paradiso, another marvellous man who I've got a lot of time for. I'll be back next week with somebody else from the Stitch universe. But until then, enjoy the show.
So you started doing queer art before you got into this textile thing. You started doing that at college. I'm curious to know how much you've evolved as a queer storyteller, if that's the right phrase.
Okay. I think that all of this had to do with my maturing, coming to age and knowing stuff. I actually started doing queer art as a child. Like, I always draw, as a boy, I always draw girl drawings, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I always make art that is not supposed to be made by a boy. When I started studying drawing before high school, I started studying like anatomy and make these bodies that maybe turned me on. And I was telling my story back then. I was telling like what my desire was through the drawings. And I think I becoming a better storytelling as I becoming discovering more stuff about myself. As an artist, as I become a better artist, I become a better queer storyteller because I am learning more about myself and I have more experience and I getting to know how to take this experience through my art, how to tell my own stories or get to know in other stories that are not alike my story. I think all this opens my mind to possibilities. And this is what I try to bring to my work, like how to tell these stories.
Yeah, and as you said before, I was struck the thing you said quite a long time ago about naturally art that has a queer man in the centre of it becomes hypersexualized.
Yes.
And your work it's sexy work, but as I said before, I just feel like you find this balance. You manage to make them quite intimate. There's a piece of yours that I really love called Maressia.
Oh,
like, and do you know what it reminds me of? Do you know like the work of Surat, where you've just got that kind of like lazy sort of industrial piece, but it's not classic. It's somewhere in between. And I feel like sometimes your work has that. It just has this kind of like, I don't know, like contemporary piece about it.
Mm-hmm. Yes. This is how I like to think of the bodies of my tapestries. I like to think the bodies like resting in peace. This might be some crazy idea that I have from an author called Georges Bataille, that is a French author that talks about, he's an anthropologist. He studied anthropology.
Anthropologist. Yeah.
Anthropologist, thank you.
Yeah.
And he talks a lot about sex, but he talks about human desire. Mm-hmm. And there is a thing that he says that nowadays or post-industrial revolution days, the human body is not allowed to rest. Like we are always in some activity. And when you get to rest or when you get to give attention to things that are not work things, like productive things, you are, I don't know, this word is in English, but you are a perv, maybe. Like you are useless for society. You are kind of a perv. When I think that my body is doing nothing, just resting, just being like beautiful bodies. I think in queerness, like maybe a great huge part of society see queer people that are useless, people that don't have utility, don't serve, don't work, don't do anything that they are supposed to do. But it's like is a mistaken way to see queer people, because in art specifically there is a lot of body resting, a lot of body doing nothing. But when it comes to queer art, it's a problem. Like it's dirty. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting out of the point, but this is why I like to think of the bodies at my tapestry like bodies that are doing nothing, just there, just existing. And somehow this becomes so provocative to see a queer guy just being, you know.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because it's like, you know, like the American dream, but it's that post-industrial story that says that you've got to work. And I mean, in some ways, actually, if I think back, it's one of the reasons why women were put in their place, wasn't it? Because men were men of industry and we worked hard and we did this and women stayed at home and looked after the kids and they're their darling and all of that shit kind of comes from that, isn't it? So then if you're showing people resting at peace, it gets visually interpreted as being wasting time, doesn't it?
Yes, yes. Yes, and it's very strong even in Brazil, you know. I live in this city that is the largest city in Latin America, that is São Paulo, and people are in a rush all day long. They're doing a lot of things, and they get depressed if they don't have a job, like if they don't have they have nothing to do. But I started creating in Salvador, Bahia. That is a city that is by the shore. There is like beautiful beaches in Salvador, and people don't have this rush like São Paulo. And there is a lot of prejudice for people in Bahia. Maressia is one of the tapestries that I made in Bahia, that I made thinking about the lifestyle in Bahia. That is like a lifestyle that I had back then. That is more calm and simple, maybe. But it's a lifestyle based on how much do you enjoy your day, how much do you enjoy the nature, the city, the things that you do for yourself, not the things that you do for work. And this is why many people like Maresias, I think, because this atmosphere of calm, of rest, of the heat, because the guy is like at the beach, like tanned at the beach. So
I remember, I think it was Bhutan. They decided to not measure gross domestic product. They decided to start measuring gross domestic happiness as like a measurement of how successful their country was. And you were like, that's the whole point, isn't it? You know, we're really not born like 7,000 million years ago. Like we weren't born to be productive. We were born to kind of be productive, but we were kind of born to be happy, I thought.
yes, yes.
How very dare we do that? That is, yeah. So another question. When you do slow work, you can't help but reflect on the content. And you've said that you do spend time thinking about your work. And then your work is about being a queer man. I'm interested to know what conclusions you've drawn, particularly as yours is quite autobiographic, isn't it? You're talking about yourself. I'm interested to know how much you understand yourself as a result of making these works, because it's been, 6 years that you've been doing this stuff. And are you able to reflect on your understanding of your own queerness?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. I mean, more than being queer, being an artist is like a status that put me in the situation that I have to think about myself, think about how I'm presented to the world. And it was challenge to become an artist, you know, to get out of the office and go home to my atelier or just my desk to create art pieces that I think will sell, or I think people will like. So this made me think more about myself. Like the building of my personality is based how much effort I put in my production. It's not common to go to a bar, go meet some friends, and people ask, "What do you do for a living?" You know, And I said, I'm an artist, but what kind of an artist? Do you paint? No, I make tapestries of huge dicks and gays lying down. You go, oh, but you do this for a living or you have a side job? No, this is my real job and it's great, doing great. Like, yeah, but it's the same thing when you discover your queerness, and in some specific context, people are like interested about your life and who are you dating and how do you live. This time is different, but when I started dating other guys, it was not easy to tell them like, I'm living with this guy. Maybe you're getting married. I don't know if we're adopting childs. Is not traditional. It's not. But the more old I'm getting, I don't know. The more I grow the constancy of who I am, the man that I am, the gay man that I am, the life that I want with my husband. That is not a life that my brothers want with their wives. And my work helps me to be okay, be safe in this agreement that I make with myself, that I am living this way. I am this queer person telling these queer stories. I am this artist telling my story through my art, and this all go together.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've had plenty of times when back in the day, I've explained to people that I make a modern cross-stitch magazine. And because I don't look like a little old lady, but for 15 years, people have just been like, huh? And in the end, you think it's just easier to say, I'm a bricklayer, because you feel like you could just get away with it. I mean, yeah. Have there been plenty of times when people can't really understand what you've just told them when you say what you do?
Yes. Maybe there's people that don't understand at all what I'm doing, but
like it's too much. If it was one thing, you'd be like, I'm an artist. They go, fine. You go in tapestries, you go, all right, in a minute. And then you go, and then there's dicks. And they're like, no, my brain cannot process what's going on.
Yes. Yeah, it's very difficult. But you know what makes me okay with this is that my grandmother get it. Like my grandmother, like is the oldest person in my family. She get it. Like she know that I married with another guy, but she know that I make tapestries. She know that my tapestries are erotic. She said I just posted like a photo of one of my tapestries that is a dick, and my grandmother responded on Instagram like, "I'm so proud of you. This is all that I need." I don't know if someone don't understand what I'm doing. If she get it, I'm doing the right thing, I think.
I think sometimes it's quite funny when you watch people's brains fold in on themselves, or when you watch people just their prejudices flare up so much, and not even about the queer things. Sometimes it can just be the textiles, can't it, or any of that, and they're just like, oh, I don't know what to do. They feel like they just want to like explode because it would be easier than having to process it. Does your work, because your work is about you, is it easier to do work about yourself as a queer man as opposed to perhaps doing work that comments on queer culture?
If it's easier to talk about my history,
maybe this isn't like, so I think if you were making work that was about queer culture, you're making statements and there's a layer of politics that's in there, you're expressing your opinion. But because you're making work about yourself, it's a commentary on queer culture. But I wonder whether that's easier because you're just saying about yourself. You're not being overtly political. You're being kind of gently political.
Yes. No, it's much more easier. I don't know if I was like a trans guy or a trans girl, I have to stand for things that are harder to stand for, or talk about things that are difficult to be understood. And for being a gay guy and be able to tell my story and only my point of view, other stories, but it's still my point of view, I think it's an easier way, as a gay guy, we have like more comfort than other people at our community. So I think it's important for us to stand by them, sure, and do our work and keep telling we are queer, we are the same community. But it's not easy for me to get to know when I am trespassing the line of talking about myself and talk about others, and taking this agenda for myself and promoting myself and my work that somehow is my business with an agenda that is not probably mine. But I think this is why I am so attached to the sexuality point of view, because I think when I talk about my sexuality, I talk about a thing that is not easy at all to talk about. I can talk about other ways of building a family or the perks of being a gay guy, but no, I am showing the hardness, maybe, of a thing that most people don't want to hear. They don't want to know about gay sex. They don't want to know how this is done and who has done it. And well, I've done this way, and I'm showing you through my art. And I think this is the most political thing about me, about my work. So.
But it's that fascinating thing of saying if you were just doing it through the medium of photography, you'd probably get shot down a lot more, or you'd probably get
yes,
you'd be contained, wouldn't you? Because it's almost like that's pornography.
Yes, it's difficult. I work with photography as well, like analog photography, but like it's a side job. But I work at Instagram. This is a platform that is not easy to pleasure. They are striking down a lot of queer pages and queer accounts that are posting things that they think is dangerous for the user. And as I make tapestries, like, you can confuse tapestry by a photo. Like, there are really different things. Still, there is some tapestries that I have to censor, like put a thing upon it.
I've seen some, yeah.
Because people don't like it.
Yeah,
it's easier to the algorithm to take it down. But yeah, I think that the textile media, is not easily confused with pornography, even if I make the raw drawings, the images that I'm making.
There's an artist, I don't know if you know of her, called Sally Hewitt. She's British. She's been going a very long time. She makes soft sculptures, but it's all boobs and vulvas and penises and all of that. And she's been doing it for the longest time. And I don't know, I haven't checked. She's probably got like 300,000 followers on Instagram now because of it. And yet when she goes and does shows, certainly, 6 or 7 years ago, people would be all like, woo, getting worried about it. But I wonder whether we need to set up some kind of support group called How to Make Rude Art, and get away with it on Instagram or something. Because it's like, I'm sure she shares a lot of your pains.
Yes, maybe.
Sometimes I talk to textile artists, and one of the questions that comes up is, are you a textile artist, or are you an artist that uses textiles? And then I talk to queer artists and I go, are you a queer artist, or are you an artist that is queer? And I wonder what your position on those kind of things is.
Okay, this board. I am a queer artist, first of all, because my art is, I think, it always be about my queerness. But I am an artist that use tapestries or use textiles right now. I like to think my art is that I think that I do during all my life. And it's like, I don't like to think that it's predictable. I don't think I'm gonna be making tapestries all my life. I really like to think that I'm open to other media and formats, but still, textiles are very important for me. And I think that textiles are somehow a great media for queer art. I think that queer people engage with textiles differently. I don't know. Maybe the fashion industry made it with us, or maybe we are just people that care about textures. I don't know what I'm saying, but I think it's hard to get out of the textile because it is in my heart, it is in my family, and I think it's a really great way to tell queer stories. I think queer has a lot to do with textiles.
Yeah, I wonder if there's something. I feel like textiles are often quite like counterculture, whether it's making your own clothes in your own costumes, or just the fact that it isn't considered fine art in the same ways. It can often provide a comfortable space because it's almost like it's an outsider medium. So if you find yourself in an outsider community, then you can seek some comfort there or something.
Yes, yeah, it's a nice way to think about the styles. Like, I don't know, something that I learned in college or with my friends that studied art is that you can make almost everything out of textiles. You can crochet furniture, you can make your clothes, you can shape your personality with your clothes, the clothes that you made. So I think it's weird because the style is so, at the same time, it's so capitalist. Like the industry take the styles and make a lot of money out of this, but it's like anti-capitalist as well because you can create your own things. Like you can create the things that you would buy. You can make them with the styles. Thinking about community, like these techniques from Brazil that are made in communities of women that work together for their own good. The style helps a lot of communities out there.
Yeah, and it's part of our fabric, isn't it? I was always struck by the fact you can go anywhere in the world and there will be a form of textile art, and then you can go back. I mean, they excavated needles that were carbon dated to be like 10,000 years old. This stuff is,
yes.
So it's ubiquitous. It's part of the world we live in, isn't it? It's a great thing to be part of. You are doing a residency. Let's talk about how you get a residency and get to go to France and have a lovely life for a month.
Yes. So there is this organization. It's called Cabane Georgina. And I don't know, 3 years ago, I made a friend in Salvador, a French guy, a Christian that lives in Marseille, the city that I am right now. And I was doing tapestries back then. And he said, "Oh, you have to go to Marseille. Like it's a city that you're going to love. And this is all about your art because there is this beautiful nature and is a city super diverse and you're gonna like it." Okay, 10 has passed and then last year he sent me this residence Instagram, like, check this out, they are really great, they have this residence, maybe you can come for a time for make your art here. I don't know. Then I entered the website, write a letter like showing myself, presenting myself, and then they invited me to come this month of May, and here I am. And this invitation was to spend a month here and creating or discovering the city. There is like a nudist beach beside the house that is like a local thing, and they would like give light to this beach. And is a nice place to have inspirations and study anatomy or just the queer culture, a queer culture that is very different than my culture. And they invited me as well to make an exhibition of my work. That is my first solo exhibition. Yes, I make this exhibition the exhibition gonna be until the 13th May.
Okay.
2 weeks. Yes, 2 weeks of exhibition, and this is very nice. Like the gallery is called Galerie du Tableau, downtown Marseille. And the guys that invited me, Dimitri and Jeremy, they are like very nice guys. They are very interested about my work and what I can bring from Brazil to the residence. And is really nice actually. Go out of your comfort zone, your culture, or out of your atelier to make different things. And I brought a lot of wool and my needle and the base for my tapestry. And I think I'm gonna make great things here. Like at the end of the experience, I'm gonna make a nice tapestry for my portfolio. I'm gonna have this exposition, but I will learn something that I wouldn't be able to learn in Brazil at all, and not just the French that it's nice to learn a new language, of course, but the way that people in Marseille they behave, like, is a really shock for me because I live in São Paulo, which I already told is like the largest city in Latin America, but I've never seen so much diversity in one place like I'm seeing in Marseille. because Marseille is like at the Mediterranean Sea,
Yeah.
and there is a lot of different cultures, different religions, different people, and this manifesting the fashion and the streets and the art, and it's really great. I think all artists should have an opportunity to make an art residence in other places.
How long have you been there for? Is it just the month of May?
It's just the month of May. Yes, I arrived at the 9th of May and gonna leave on the 7th of May of June. Sorry.
Yeah. It's interesting. I'm curious as to how much you can feel it influencing your work.
Yes, I think there is mostly two ways of this experience influence my work. That is watching different people, being like here and watching how they do things and how the culture are manifesting day by day. Another way is for me to being completely alone. I am like alone in a house full of art pieces from different artists and traveling alone, like doing whatever I want. No, if I don't tell, nobody will know what I'm doing. So I have this liberty to go there and try new things and try things that I would never try.
Are you looking after yourself? Because I can't help thinking I'd probably have a hangover every single day.
The good thing is that I don't drink, so I have this helps a lot. Yes, not only don't drink too much or don't spend a lot of money, but I like to stay sober in this situation. I think I am more safe. So.
Do you think I guess, do you think you could stay there? Is it the sort of place where you're like, I could just live here for 6 months or something quite happily?
Yes, for sure. Like, it's a very beautiful city. I don't know if you know much about Marseille, but it's a beautiful city. There is this calanques. There is like those big rocks, and the beaches are by these rocks, and the sea is like the deepest blue I ever saw. And yes, I would love to live here for longer, but at the same time, it's funny how you get out of your country, you get out of a city, and you miss it. Like, I miss São Paulo. I miss my friends, of course. I miss my hobbies. I miss my cat.
There we go. That means you are a tapestry artist. If you miss your cat, that's completely
yes. No, certified old lady. You have a cat, and you
right. And then, and so you're putting together a solo show. Did that take a lot of consideration? But did you bring the stuff over with you, or is it being flown over separately?
Yes, I bring stuff with me with another luggage. A good thing about the style is that you can fold the art piece. So.
Yeah, not too heavy. How does the show come together in your mind?
Yes, I already had this idea of this show. This show is called, I have the name in Portuguese and French, but it's called L'Homme Renommé. C'est a man for object, like object man. I was thinking about the construction of masculinity as a synthetic thing, like a thing that is not real, but we build this up with culture. And I think that tapestry is a great support for this made-up history of how men behave and how men are perceived. And I would like to give my point of view of the construction of this masculinity, like my queer point of view, like how men could be seen as objects or sexual objects or just bodies in rest, which I was doing, and tell a little bit of this history in my mind that the masculinity is made up by the myths, like the effort of the myths, by the rituals of the culture, like the men's taking care of other men's and supporting other men's as one unity. And I came out with 6 tapestries about this that I created. Imagine these bodies in the situations that make masculinity seems like a made-up thing. And people at the gallery loved the idea, and they wrote a curatorial test about this. this was the opportunity for show this project that I was studying about masculinity in tapestry.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. It's interesting. It resonates with me because I'm a girl dad, so both of my children are girls, but we didn't know until they were born. And I was getting a little bit stressed at the thought of if I was having to be a boy dad, because the stories of what it is to be a man are so strong. And I don't necessarily think I fit into those. There's nothing, you don't get that guy's really sensitive, good on him, and all of that, And I find that's just kind of unreal. And I was quite relieved when both of my children are daughters, because it allows to be more sensitive. I can encourage them to be strong and brave, but at the same time, we can be sad about things. And that's not to say I wouldn't with a boy. I'd find a way. But I was stressed out because I'm just not a football dad. I'm just not a geezer and all of that. And those stories are so strong. So, I mean, it's interesting for you to have tuned into that.
Yes, I think this way, like maybe I have two oldest brothers, and I watch like my oldest brothers become certified men with all this masculinity. And during all this time that we are living together, I was asking myself, is this really necessary? Like, I have to go to the football, or I have to be this man who go after girls, and and I always had this vision that masculinity is like a choice. Like you choose to be a man like this. Like you choose to be hold your feelings or be strong. I don't know. And this is a point of view that I always had about masculinity, and I can't help but bring it to my work.
Yeah, brilliant. I love it. I think it's such a great idea. And like you say, because you can push it as many boundaries, but it's in tapestries. So people are slightly dismantled. They can't, if it was, like you say, photography, painting, sculpture or something, but yours is soft and kind of nice. And yeah, well done, man. I think it's awesome.
Thank you.
I want to move on to tough questions now, because I think we've talked about sexuality, and we've talked about the artistic history of Brazil, and we've talked about your grandma. So I feel now it's important to get onto the tough questions. Have you got a favorite book?
Yes, I have a favorite book. Luckily I had a very strong reading culture in my family because of my grandmother and my grandparents. My grandparents, they always forced us to read. So I have a lot of books that I read with them and talked about the books with them. And there is one specific book that is called Papillon, from an author, a French author called Henri Charrier.
Yeah.
And it's a book about a man. It's a true story, but a little bit of fantasy. It's a book about a man that is arrested in French and is sent to the penalty colonies in America. Mm-hmm. And this is a story about how he tried during years to get free, to get his freedom by escaping, even sometimes by, I don't know, death. Or is a really harsh story, but is a huge book, actually, like, I don't know, 600 pages. But it's very intimate. Like, he is almost a monologue of a man in prison for years. I don't know. I think I read 2 times this book, one with my grandmother and one alone. And I love all about this. This is also a book about masculinity, because it's a prison with a lot of men and how these men interact with each other. There is a few queer characters as well. Papillon, you should go after this. Papillon from Henri Charrier.
Yeah, French for butterfly, I think, papillon, isn't it?
Yes, papillon is butterfly.
Excellent. Okay, music. I don't want to presume about Brazilian music. I've got time for Brazilian music, but I'm sure that it's not necessarily that's what you're going to choose. So let's talk about, I don't know, favorite album, favorite musical band?
Yeah, music in Brazil is very strong. We have like genial artists for music. My best Brazilian album is called Transa by Caetano Veloso. I don't know if you know Caetano Veloso, but he's like an idol in Brazil.
Okay.
And he's this artist that was arrested by the dictatorship in Brazil, and he's very very impressive. And the first time I saw him in live concert was one of the most strange feelings because he's like an entity, like a god alive.
Right.
But I actually a very pop guy. I love pop culture.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a singer that is Lorde that made this album called Melodrama.
Mm-hmm.
Lorde is the singer from New Zealand.
Yeah.
She made this album so intimate. It's like she really get her guts out for this album. And all the music talk to me like she wrote this for me. And I took a lot of even nowadays I took a lot of inspo out of this album because I don't know how she becomes so personal. How can she write music so personally? And I think this is really awesome. Melodrama is like the album that I listen to the most.
Yeah, and she's not really that old either. Lorde kind of came out pretty young, pretty well formed, didn't she?
Yes, I think she's younger than me. She's like, I don't know if she's at her 30s yet, but she come out like at 16, like she was a kid, and a genius. I don't know, like great lyric, great songwriter.
Yeah, you get those people. I'm thinking of like Amy Winehouse and like Lana Del Rey, and you get some of these people. They just come out and they're pretty much the package, aren't they?
Yes, it was there.
Yeah, Lana Del Rey. I don't have many of her albums, but she strangely enchants me. She's got real charisma. I feel like if I was going to end my life, I'm not. But Lana Del Rey would probably be the music to go to. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no, she's like she have this witch atmosphere, like she's doing magic with her music. It's awesome.
Yeah. She's going to take your money and break your heart. Very good. Okay, films. Do you have a favorite film?
I do. I have favorite films, favorite directors.
Mm-hmm.
But the film that I like the most, that I always think about, is called. I should search in English because it's called La Piel que Habito. Let me search English name. The Skin I Live In from Almodovar, this Spanish director.
Oh, Pedro Almodovar. What was the film again?
The Skin I Live In.
Oh, okay.
I love Almodovar. Like, it was queer awakening for me watching his movies.
Mm-hmm.
But this film is like almost it's a thriller. It's a gender thriller, like a film about violence. And I think is actually criticized for being the most gore film from Almodovar. There is a lot of violence, graphic violence. But it's like this kind of film with plot twists that I love. You know, this film that you try to figure out what is going on and you have no idea is a film. But Almodovar has this choice of colors that tell stories by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And he is really great about creating characters. And this film, I don't know, this just speaks to me. I think that for sure is the film that I like the most. Every time we are in doubt of which film are we seeing tonight, I think, let's see something from Almodovar. And my husband, no, not The Skin I Live In again. No,
and like you go, and then I go, actually, one without Penelope Cruz, and you go, oh well, actually, there aren't any because she's in pretty much every film he's made, right?
Yes, yeah. Penelope Cruz and Antonio Banderas. Both in this movie, they are great.
That's very sound. Are there any particularly noteworthy Brazilian films that we should pay attention to?
Oh, sure. Right now we have this amazing film by Kleber Mendonça that was at the Oscars. That is The Secret Agent.
Okay.
It's very famous. It's current. And in Brazil we have this dictatorial theme around the movies. For us, it's important to remember and speak out about this time. So we have a lot of things that are created in Brazil about this. Let me see if I have another. So much. Do you know Kleber Mendonça is a great director, but he have another film called Bacurau. Is a word in Portuguese. Bacurau. It's like a Western movie in Brazil, and it's very interesting. Like it's a thriller as well. And he's definitely a director that world has to have to pay attention because he's like great.
That's cool. That's cool. I'm part of what I'm doing in this gallery here. I'm trying to get funding to start a film society because our town has never had one, and so we're doing some programming of like what the first set of films could be. But I quite like the idea of trying to do a film series where none of them are English-speaking films.
Mm.
And I think that could be quite interesting because we've got a very diverse culture here as well. But I'm always interested to know, what's the best film that I'm going to have to read, but that sort of thing, because I think that's definitely worth a look. So I'll check him out.
Oh,
thank you.
For sure.
Right. So, what is a fact that not a lot of people know about you? Yeah. I don't know why I said that like that. What's a fact that not a lot of people know about you? Thank you.
Okay. I don't know if for sure not a lot of people know, but people that are around me know well that I am a certified Dungeons and Dragons nerd. Like the things that yes, the thing that I like the most, like I can't wait to be with my friends to play Dungeons and Dragons. I played this since high school.
Right.
And I would change any plans for play Dungeons and Dragons. I like it so much. And I miss the first thing that I got to do back in Brazil is play with my friends because they might be playing without me. But I really this kind of nerd that read all the books of Lord of the Rings and collect small figure actions.
Yeah.
And
do they not have any down in Marseille? Did you not seek that out the minute you got there?
Yeah, I thought about this, but I think I'm gonna suck in playing Dungeons and Dragons in French. My French is not that good, so
okay, that could be tricky, couldn't it? I see that.
Yeah. I'm not this good in French, so I rather keep things to myself. And when I come back, they're gonna see the best player because I like practicing alone.
Yeah, you're just keen and eager. That's brilliant. That is. I love that. We've got round the corner from the gallery, there's a place called the Lizard Lair. In fact, we've got two places that do, they do Pokemon, but they do Dungeons and Dragons. We've got a Warhammer shop. There's loads of tabletop gaming around here. That's hilarious. If I'm thinking in my head, because I'm trying to, particularly with the gallery upstairs, I really want to try and curate embroidery and textile art somewhere down the line. So I'm like, right, I'll just have your work up here. But now that I know that you could come and I know that you could go and play with some nerds around the corner, so I think you'll be all right.
Oh, I would love to. Warhammer is like a popular game in Europe, right? I didn't know about this.
Yeah, it's massive. I think that it's a British company that own it. And I think last year they made more money than I think it's something like they're like the 60th most successful company in the UK. Like they make more money than companies that build houses and stuff. It's bonkers. And it's the painting and the gaming and the inclusivity of it all.
Yes, very, very interesting. I didn't know about this, but there is a store in Marseille of this Warhammer, and I get in thinking, oh, maybe this is something Dungeons and Dragons. And there was like a play going on at the store, and one guy told me what it was about. It's like a chess game, but it's strategic. Mm-hmm. And there is this figures that you paint with your way. And I think it's very interesting. I don't know. Maybe I will start to play. Maybe I'm gonna bring some to Brazil to play with my Dungeons and Dragon friends.
I was talking to the guy from the Warhammer here because I quite like the idea of having a Warhammer exhibition, but almost making I don't know what the scale is, but a scaled down version of the building so that you could have the figures as though they were the right size. Do you know what I mean? Just having like a mini art gallery within the space.
Nice. Great
I
idea.
also thought it would be interesting if you met and I'm making a presumption here, right? But if you meet some new Dungeons and Dragons people in a place, I'd imagine if you told them what you did for a living, I think they might have to leave. I'm not sure whether that would be too far a disconnect or not.
Yes, no, but it's a different. It's a interesting thing about Dungeons and Dragons because right now I'm playing at the table with other gay guys, but back in high school I play with like the straight guys from high school, and there is this thing that these nerds with Dungeons and Dragons are more closer to mine. But I think Dungeons and Dragons could be a really queer thing. Like you can create a magician woman that makes pink magic and imagine yourself as a totally different person.
Yeah, it's true, isn't it? I suppose actually that's incredibly naive thing of me to say, and I should take it back really, because you're quite right. Because actually, and then when you look at other worlds where you can create avatars of yourself, there's never been a better opportunity to express yourself more freely, has there?
Yes, yes. It's like a really. I think Dungeons and Dragons always been for me an exercise of self-awareness and identity, building identities.
Of course. I sometimes struggle with the fact that I'm like a cis white male middle-aged man, and I do my best. But every now and again, I'm
you
sorry.
Sure are.
No, that's cool. Because that's the thing. You could just say that and they just be like, yeah, whatever. And just carry on, isn't it? They're not going to bat an eyelid when you tell them what you do. That's amazing.
No.
Renan, thanks for having a NeedleXChange.
Oh, thanks for having me. I really enjoyed this conversation.
It's been very cool.